Have you ever felt like no matter how much you study or try to learn something new, it just doesn't stick? Let's be real. Learning can be frustrating. Sometimes you spend hours studying only to feel like your brain hits a wall when you need the information most. Sound familiar? Don't worry, you're not alone and it's not your fault. The good news is the problem lies in how we're taught to study. Most methods just don't work. But what if you could absorb information faster, remember it longer, and actually enjoy the process? That's what we're diving into today. Using what science tells us about how the brain works, I'll share 3 practical, easy to apply techniques that will help you transform your learning experience. And the best part, you'll notice results right away. Before we jump into the techniques, let's quickly break down how learning works in your brain. It all starts in the hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for organizing new information. Think of it as your personal librarian, sorting through the knowledge you take in every day. When you learn something new, like a math formula or a word in another language, the hippocampus creates a bridge between neurons to temporarily store that information. But here's the catch. That bridge is fragile. Without reinforcement, it can collapse within days. For the information to move into your long-term memory, your brain needs 2 things: repetition and context. And that's where the 3 techniques come in. The first technique is active recall, and it's one of the most effective ways to strengthen your memory. Unlike rereading notes or highlighting textbooks, which many people rely on, active recall forces your brain to actively retrieve information. This could mean asking yourself questions, using flashcards, or even trying to explain the concept out loud. Why is this so effective? Every time you try to remember something, you're rebuilding and reinforcing those neural bridges in your brain. It's like giving your brain a workout. And here's the kicker: making mistakes isn't just okay, it's helpful. When you get something wrong and then correct it, your brain locks in the correct answer even more firmly. For example, if you're learning a new language, instead of just reading a vocabulary list, ask yourself, what's the word for house in French? Or how do you say run in Spanish? Apps like Anki or Quizlet are great for this, but you can also write your own questions. The key is to actively engage with the material. The second technique is interleaved learning, which involves mixing different topics or skills during your study sessions rather than focusing on just one thing for hours. At first, this might feel less efficient, but research shows it significantly improves understanding and retention over time. For instance, if you're studying biology for an exam, don't spend the entire day on just the Krebs cycle. Instead, alternate between topics like ecology, genetics, and physiology. This constant switching forces your brain to adapt and creates stronger connections between different concepts. Athletes use this technique all the time. A tennis player doesn't spend hours just practicing serves. They alternate between serves, volleys, and full games. This variety prepares them for real-life challenges. You can do the same in your studies by mixing topics to improve your overall mastery. Finally, let's talk about spaced repetition, the most underrated but incredibly effective technique. Many people cram all their studying into one session, especially before an exam, thinking it's the best way to remember things. The truth is, cramming only works for short-term recall. By the next day, most of that information is gone. Spaced repetition, on the other hand, spreads your study sessions out over days or even weeks. This allows your brain to process and solidify the material. What's more, sleep plays a crucial role here. While you're sleeping, your brain works to organize and transfer memories into long-term storage. So studying in advance and getting a good night's sleep is a winning combination. Here's how to use it. Let's say you need to memorize 30 math formulas. Instead of trying to learn them all at once, break them into smaller chunks. Study 5 to 10 formulas today, review them tomorrow, and add more the next day. This follows what's called the spacing effect, which maximizes retention and minimizes forgetting. What makes these techniques even more powerful is how they complement each other. You start with active recall to identify what you know and what you need to focus on. Then you use interleaved learning to create deeper connections between different topics. Finally, spaced repetition ensures that what you've learned stays with you for the long haul. Together, these techniques turn your study sessions into a well-oiled machine. It's not about studying harder, it's about studying smarter. So, are you ready to take your learning to the next level? Before you dive in, do two quick things. Subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so you never miss out on more game-changing tips like these. Also, drop a comment below. Which of these techniques have you tried before? Or which one do you think will work best for you? I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Learning doesn't have to be a frustrating uphill battle. With the right tools and strategies, you can turn even the toughest challenges into stepping stones for success. So why not start now? Pick one of these techniques and give it a try today. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because that moment is now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Let's make it happen.